Evening, heathens. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight, we are going to talk about my December TBR. But before we start, PSA, I am attempting to upload every day in December. We'll see if I accomplish that. I really do want to. I love making these videos. I just really enjoy it. I enjoy talking to myself in my flat by myself, and it's so much fun kind of sharing my love of these books. So I'm attempting to do that. You and I will both find out whether I'm successful by the end of the month. So at the very least, expect a lot of videos from me in the next month. Like I said, lots of ideas, lots of things I want to share. I also have a very ambitious reading month. So, happy Yuletide, happy festive season, happy Christmas, happy Xmas, season's greetings, whatever the hell you celebrate in December or not. You don't need to celebrate. You can do whatever you want. Just enjoy the time off is what I'm enjoying. And however you choose to celebrate, eat, drink, and be merry. My merry is reading, is books. So I'm planning to do a lot of reading in December. I've got some time off from work, which will be great. So lots of reading time. So the TBR is ambitious. I have some other TBRs going as well still. These are kind of my December themed reads. I'm also doing 2 separate videos on specific things that I want to read. So I'll just flash show them, and then we'll talk about more of my sort of December books, like the December feels, all of that fun stuff. So this pile of books, flash show you, is a pile of frosty, icy, wintry thrillers. And I've been kind of collecting these, saving them up for the winter season, because there's nothing better than reading a good, dark, icy thriller. So that's going to be in a separate video. Then I'm also, I am also attempting to finish or continue in the open series that I have. And I'm going to be doing a whole video on, the open. I say that because it's a good thing I go to the gym and lift weights. Look at that. Seriously. And I think that's actually missing some. I still need to pull some off the shelves. Those are all books in series that I have started and that are open, that I need to continue in. I think most of those aren't even complete. So that's gonna be fun. I want to read all of those. I really do. But, time and eyeball savings. So that's going to be a separate video where I'm going to talk about all the series. And then what we're going to talk about now is my TBR of kind of December-y, wintry themed books. So the first one is this one over here. And I mentioned this in a previous video, but this is the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells. Gorgeous Waterstones exclusive. And what this book is you've got Morgan. And the reason I kept this for now is that it talks about winter, and she's up in the mountains. And one of the lines in here is, the curse will disappear when the frost thaws. So I was like, that's perfect for this time of year. So the premise here is that Morgan is from this family of witches, and she goes back to her hometown in the mountains. And they seem to have a curse on them, very reminiscent of the kind of practical magic love curse, where if you fall in love with someone, they're doomed. Bad idea. So it's kind of one of the things where she has to choose between love and is breaking the curse sort of at any cost. And like I said, cold, mountain, winter, chill, thaw. Perfect, right? That's my kind of romance. Dark and cursed. Speaking of a dark and cursed romance, Carrie Lake. I have absolutely fallen in love with Carrie Lake's writing. I read Gothicana. Nocticadia. Gothicana's the other one. I read Nocticadia. I've also fallen in love with Runix's writing, but I read Nocticadia and I just adored every second of it, even though it's a very long book. And I see that she tends to write long books, but I think she does it so well. And she also does these kind of dark, gothic romance, supernatural romances as well, really, really well. And this is one of them. So this is Anathema. I think this is her latest release. And I'm so excited to get to this. I have to read it. So this talks about a witch snail. There's a forest, and apparently there's all sorts of things about this forest, like you do not go into this forest, it's cursed, it's, you die. But if people do something wrong, they kind of get banished in this forest. And our main heroine in the story, she kind of gets banished to this forest, and there's the sort of dark lord that lives in the forest, and there may be a curse that only her blood can break. Oh yeah. I'm thinking Shadow Daddy. But this just sounds exactly the kind of dark, twisted, bad romance that I want to read in December. And speaking of dark, twisted, gothic romance, this is The Raven's Tale, and Excuse Thee by Cat Winters. This is an ex-library copy, so I need to take this off because that is actually really going to annoy me, the plastic. Anyway, so this is when young Poe meets his muse, the world will change forevermore. Get it? So this is kind of a take on Edgar Allan Poe. And it says, once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. So that's from The Raven. And it's a 17-year-old Edgar Poe is on the brink of escaping from under the thumb of his foster family. Once he's out of oppressive Richmond and away at college, things will change. He'll be free to pursue his art and leave the horrors of his past behind. Then, on the brink of his departure, a macabre muse named Lenore appears to him, tempting him to a life of dark poetry and gruesome tales. So that giggle sounded, I don't know what was going on there. But yes, I mean, I love Edgar Allan Poe. And this just sounds fabulous. So cannot wait to read that. Then, to say this was a cover by is the understatement of the year. But like, excuse me? Excuse me? So this is Moonstone by Laura Purcell. I've read quite a few Laura Purcell books and I've really enjoyed them. And this just, I mean, if nothing screams winter to you, then this surely just screams winter. So it says on the back, don't misbehave, beware the moon, never go out after dark. So I believe the premise here is our main character, she is sent off to live with her godmother. I think there may be a tragedy or following a scandal, it says. She's sent to go live with her godmother and her eccentric daughter, Lucy. And it's sort of in the mountains from what I can tell. So again, perfect for the season. But it says that there's mysterious deaths, there's claw marks, and the howls of creatures that sound almost otherworldly. So are we thinking werewolves? Because I bloody hope there's werewolves in this. I haven't read a good werewolf book in ages. So this is fantastic. If nothing else, I can just stare at this fabulous cover all season. It's just beautiful. Then... this has to be the most Christmassy of Christmas books on my list. So this is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is so beautiful. I know Waterstones did a white version, but me being me, I like the black. And essentially this is going back to the world of Caraval, and this is a novella set in that world, set at Christmas. And I think it's kind of a take on the Nutcracker. But this is one of the most beautiful books. I mean, and talk about ambitious, I would actually like to reread Caraval. We'll see, but I definitely want to read this. This is just gorgeous. I think this is a perfect, like, Christmas Day read if you're looking for something that's really traditionally seasonal. However, I'm not that much of a traditionalist. So the next book is The Cautious Reveler's Guide to the Wastelands. That really rolls off your tongue. By Sarah Brooks. This book, first of all, I mean, besides being spectacularly beautiful and came with all this accoutrement inside, is about the Trans-Siberian Express. So I don't know if you can see that there. So I believe that this is kind of like a fantasy book, but it's the end of the 19th century and the world is awash with marvels, but there is nothing so marvelous as the Wastelands, a terrain of terrible miracles that lies between Beijing and Moscow. Nothing touches the Wastelands except the Great Trans-Siberian Express, an impenetrable train built to carry cargo across continents, but which now transports any passengers who dares. Onto the platform steps a curious cast of characters: Mariah, a grieving woman with a borrowed name; Weiwei, a famous child born on the train; and Henry Grey, a disgraced naturalist. But there were whispers that the train isn't safe. As secrets and stories begin to unravel, the passengers and crew must survive their journey together, even as something uncontrollable seems to be breaking in. Trans-Siberian Express? Again, what's more wintry than a Trans-Siberian Express? That sounds fantastic. And that is just, I mean, this has to be one of the most beautiful books I own. That's beautiful. Then the next one, because like I said, I'm nothing if not untraditional. Forestfall by Lyndall Clipstone. I have fallen in love with the first book in the series, Lake's Edge. It is a dark, gothic, fairy tale romance of a book that made me cry. And that's not easy. And this is the second book. So I can't really go into too much detail about what the synopsis is. But like I said, the first book, Lake's Edge, is about this boy who's trying to save the earth from a blight, from a curse. And the girl that helps him. And it's very much a Beauty and the Beast style love story as well. He's called a monster. He calls himself a monster. It's exquisite. There's magic. There's family, there's heartbreak, the romance is everything. Like I said, it's dark gothic fairy tale romance, my favorite thing in the whole world. And this is book 2, so you know. And also, again, how kind of winter Yuletide season is that? It's beautiful. Speaking of how you know, winter Yuletide season, and I kind of match the book, may I present The Wolf and the Woodsman. So this will complete my Ava Reid obsession of books that she currently has out. She's got 2 more books coming out next year. I adore Ava Reid. I'm going to do a whole Ava Reid video, so I also will not go too much into this. But it's basically, this is a forest, a pagan village. This is, I think, 2 people on the run in the forest. It's very much giving me dark fairy tale, which again, dark gothic fairy tale is my thing. Juniper and Thorn is one of my top 3 favorite books of all time. And I love Ava Reid. So I think this was her debut. I'm absolutely looking forward to reading this one because I haven't read it yet. And then the 2 new books that are coming out next year, cannot wait. But yeah, this is, again, what's more sort of the season, right? Then, I mean, this literally has the word winter. I'm nothing if not literal. This is The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. And this just sounds, again, like very fairy tale Caraval-esque, which is perfect for the season. So this one says, on the night Beatrice's mother dies, the mysterious and enchanting winter garden becomes her solace for 7 days. But when the garden disappears without a trace, Beatrice is left to wonder if it was ever real. 18 years later, on the eve of her wedding to a man she doesn't love, Beatrice decides to throw off the expectations of Victorian English society and search for the garden that she has never forgotten. But when both she and her best friend Rosa receive invitations for a competition to create breathtaking pleasure gardens, the prize being one wish from the last of the winter garden's magic, she realizes she may be closer to finding it than she ever thought. I mean, do we say Caraval vibes? Why do I say why? What's wrong with it? It's my accent. Too many languages. It's just, I don't mean, look at that cover with like the horse and it's perfect. And then the final book, and this should really be in my series, but I couldn't resist because, again, A Court of Mist and Fury. I've fallen in love with that guitar. I read the first book. I absolutely loved it. I've got the gorgeous special edition, I'm pointing because it's over there, of A Court of Thorn and Roses, and this is book 2. So I'm desperate to get to book 2. And I actually found this beautiful hardback version in a charity shop, which I'm really loving. I also think it's kind of perfect for the season. I know A Court of Frost and Starlight is like the 4th book, I want to say. And that one is set at Christmas. So, like I said, to say this is ambitious is to say the ocean is a bit damp. It's true. I kind of want to read all of the books till I get to A Court of Frost and Starlight and Frost, because I'd love to read that actually at Christmas. So I'm going on a Sarah J. Maas reading binge, and I don't care what anybody has to say. I like it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it, and that's just that. And everybody has their own opinion. So that is it. Like I said, there are going to be some more videos with the thrillers, you know, the kind of cold thrillers, and then all the series I'm in the middle of and I want to finish. But yeah. Let me know if you've read any of those, if you're planning on reading any of those. Let me know if you're planning on reading Spectacular. And yeah, tell me what you're reading this winter festive season. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.